Hello, everyone. How you doing? All right. So yesterday wasn't an amazing day, and I couldn't really get this out in a tweet or a text or whatever you call them. So I figured I would go ahead and do this video just to explain myself. So yesterday I was doing great. I was feeling fine. I would think it was day 7, and I almost made it all the way through. So it was going great. So it's good news, bad news. But I was feeling so good. Those back problems I was telling you about, those went away. So whatever that was, it wasn't my kidneys because it felt horrible for a couple of days and then I broke through. So I don't know what that was, but I got through it eventually. And the back pain was gone. Top of my spine, that was gone. So whatever that was, I don't know what it was, but it wasn't an issue anymore. I was feeling good, and this is where the problem started. I was feeling so good that I thought it was a good idea to go up to the park that I love to go up to because this is a city and they knock down all the trees and destroy the place so that they can put in buildings so we can sit in concrete boxes all our lives. And this is the only place, one of the few places in town that's close by, right? That I don't want to spend a bunch of gas driving to. There's another one that's in the woods that I probably should have gone to because it has a lot of like tree canopy overhang, and that would have worked out a lot better, I think. But maybe a bad idea either way. 7 days, no food, no water. A hike, even a flat hike, is probably not the best idea. It definitely wasn't for me, and I'll explain what happened with that. But it's a little park I always go to. I call it the PAL Police Athletic League, but I guess that's just inside of it. It's like Ed Austin Park. I guess that's the true name of it. So I went up there. It's not a big, it's not a big loop. It's like 1.7 miles. I usually do 2 loops completely easily. There's nothing to it. It's flat mostly. But I went up there. I looked in the little weather app there. It said it was like 80 degrees Celsius. I think it said it was like 26, 27, something like that. So I don't know if you consider that warm. It wasn't cool for sure, and it definitely felt warm because there was no clouds in the sky, and the sun was just baking me down. Which is interesting about the clouds. I'll get to that. That was very interesting. So I started off the walk. It was completely sunny. It was gorgeous. The clouds looked beautiful. Like it was amazing. It was a beautiful walk. I loved it. I was walking, feeling good. The fast was going well. Wasn't really having too much of a thirst issue. I had keto mouth, of course, but I was good. I was cruising, feeling good. Um, just like has happened before. And I was walking around this track, having a great time. It's nice to see some people walking. The music was good. And then I got about maybe a little over halfway. It's 1.7 mile track, right? So I was like maybe a mile through it, maybe, I guess. And all of a sudden, it just hit me. I hit the wall. I think that's what they call it. Like runners and bike riders and stuff, they call it hitting the wall. And I've done it one time in my life. Well, except for wrestling practice in high school. That was absolutely brutal. That's crazy, whoever does that. But I hit the wall. I had done it one time in the last couple of years when I was bike riding. Went out in the morning, fasted. I don't know if I had food the day before or not. But I went out, fasted like that, riding a bike, and went like 20 some odd miles down to the beach and back. And I was maybe a mile from the house, and I absolutely fell out on the bike. Not yesterday, but I absolutely fell out. I had nothing in the tank. I could not even ride the bicycle. I don't know you bikers out there, maybe you understand what this is, but I was so exhausted, I couldn't ride the bike. I had to hop off the bike and walk it, which doesn't make any sense. You would think that it's easier to ride the bike than to walk it, but for whatever reason, I was so tired. I had to literally get off the bike and like, like push the bike as much as I could. And then I literally, like about a mile from the house or so, I couldn't even push the bike. The sun was beating down on me. I just pulled up next to some like tree overhang and like laid the bike down and just laid in the dirt. And I don't know if I ever fell asleep. I was kind of like in almost like a horrible dream state. But I just laid there on the ground. I couldn't move. I just wanted to sleep. That's all I wanted to do. So I laid there for like 15, 20 minutes. And then eventually I realized it was a terrible plan. It was never going to get me home. So I got up, got the bike, and just barely walked that thing home. I've never been so tired in my life. But that's the only time, that's the only thing I can compare it to is that time when I rode the bike. It's 20 some odd miles. The sun was out. I was fasted. Pretty stupid. And I literally took nothing with me. I didn't take, usually when I bike ride, I have a backpack, I'll take a banana or an apple or something, just so that that doesn't happen. But I didn't take anything. And man, I fell out. I had to jump off the bike and start walking, which I knew was a bad sign. And then eventually, after walking it for some amount of time, I don't know, I just like fell over under a tree and just laid on the dirt. And that's how tired I was. I couldn't move. I couldn't do anything. I had nothing in the tank. It was empty. Completely, I was emptied out. And then after like a 20 minutes of laying in the dirt, I was able to get up and just hobble that bike home by walking it. I couldn't ride it. That doesn't even make sense to me that you can't ride a bike, but you can push it. But that's what happened. And I only tell you that story just to explain how I felt yesterday. Now, granted, I didn't fall out on the ground, but it was really close. I did have to sit on the park benches, and I remember it because as soon as I started falling out and I was getting faint, I was feeling like real lightheaded and just the sun was baking down on me. And interesting about the weather, I'll get to that in a second. But as soon as I got to that point, there was like some people sitting on the bench, and in my mind, I'm like a little frustrated. I'm like, oh, geez, I'm about to fall out here, and you guys are sitting on the bench that I really need to sit on. So I kept walking even further, and I got towards kind of like close to the end of it, where there's like this little bench I like to sit on. There's like a lake, and there's these birds, and it's cool. It's a cool little place. I like it. But I was frustrated because there was people on the bench, and I couldn't sit down earlier. So I was on the struggle bus, and it was bad. But going into it, going up there on the scooter, and it was beautiful. The sun was out. It was like 80 degrees, maybe 82. I'm not sure exactly, but it was definitely at least 80 because it was warm. And the clouds were beautiful and everything was nice. And I was just like enchanted. I just wanted to walk around this thing, have my music on. I was feeling good. And the back pain was gone. I was sitting pretty at the time. I was feeling good. But apparently 7 days of no water and no food, no liquids and no food. I guess it's a bad idea to go walk 1.7 miles in 80 plus degree weather, with the sun cooking down on you, even though I had a hat on. So I took a hat. But apparently that's ill advised. Don't do that. And I would hope, that I could have made it the whole time. I had like 30 some odd days to go, which is crazy. It's such a long time to go without liquids. I don't know how they did it. I really don't. But could I have made it the whole time without liquids? I don't know. I don't know how each day was going to go, but I was feeling good. I had the metabolic water. My body was chewing through my fat to produce what little amounts of water that could. And up until the time I took that walk, I was feeling good. I didn't really have any concerns, a little dry mouth from keto, but it's to be expected. I wasn't too worried. But that walk, dumbest thing I could have done apparently, because what little tiny bits of water my body was able to produce, I burned it all, or energy or whatever. I don't know what happened. Energy and water probably. But in that beautiful majestic walk under the sun, or under the sun, the sky, the beautiful clouds we had yesterday, it was so pretty. The music was going. I was feeling good, but my body just gave out. I walked around and got maybe like a mile around, and then all of a sudden, it just hit me. It's like I just hit a wall. Nothing. I had nothing left in the tank. And then I'll get to the weather now, because then I'll get to like how it was when I got home. But let's keep it in order as best we can, as best as this mind will do that. So the weather. I told you the weather was awesome, right? Beautiful. But as I'm walking around the track, and I start to feel terrible. Like I hit the wall and I'm like getting Not mad. I'm getting much better with my anger. So, because anger's a sin, right? So we can't get angry. Can't be throwing tables around in a temple or cursing trees. So we gotta watch the anger. But I was going around and I started hitting the wall, and then all of a sudden, like, these clouds are rolling in. Like, it's starting to get like dark. The sky is getting dark, and these are like dark rain clouds, which is crazy. Because I'm telling you, when I got there, it was a beautiful day. Absolutely beautiful. The clouds were looking super pretty and wispy and like artisty or artistic. I don't know how you say it. They were pretty. But then all of a sudden, as I was feeling horrible, like as I started hitting the wall and stuff, I'm looking up, and this is like a bad movie that's happening. It's like something you'd see it like on the television. All of a sudden, all these clouds start rolling in, and it's like looking like it's going to rain. It doesn't make any sense. The timing, was weird. It was weird timing. So it was like as I started to feel horrible, the clouds are rolling in, making me feel even worse. And now I went from like this beautiful, sunny, pretty clouds day. Now it's looking like it wants to rain on me. So it didn't make any sense at all, and it didn't help my mood, that's for sure. So I already hit the wall. I was feeling terrible. Now these clouds are rolling in like it's going to rain, making me feel even worse because the environment's changing and I'm not feeling good anymore. And now the environment's like kicking me while I'm down and like, oh, now it's going to look like crap. So it's just bad timing, but still, it's weird. It's weird when it happens like that. But yeah, I'm walking around feeling horrible. Now all of a sudden the weather's changing. It's looking nasty. And it happened quickly. Like I told you, this was a beautiful day. And all of a sudden, like as I'm walking, it turns into a nasty day. There's clouds, and I'm thinking, oh, great. Now I don't want to get rained on. I'm on the scooter, and I'm feeling terrible. So I don't need to be taking a spill on the scooter. And I was really faint. Probably not the best time to ride a bike, but I had to get home. So that's how it happened. It's really strange. So it started off this beautiful day. This nice, majestic little walk in the park. Really cool. And then it just morphed into, I got slapped in the face and had absolutely no energy. Felt like that time I took that bike ride. Of course, I didn't have any food with me. I couldn't take anything. I was fasting, so I didn't have anything with me. And it sucked. So I ended this beautiful walk that started sometime earlier. It's 1.7 miles. I think it takes like maybe, 30 minutes or so to finish. It's not a long walk. It's an easy one. It's mostly flat. But by the time I ended it, I had absolutely no energy. I just wanted to lay on the ground. The clouds had rolled in. The sky looked like crap. It did not look like a nice day. It looked like it was going to rain now. So that was unfortunate. And it ended badly. And I still wasn't going to crack. I was still like, okay, I made a mistake. This was a really bad idea. Apparently, if you're dry fasting, do not go for walks in the park. That's stupid. And I got home. And after I got home, it never stopped. Like I was still paying the price. I felt awful. All I could think about were drinks and smoothies and anything wet. Like any kind of like nutrition in regards to like water, anything my body could feed off of. And it didn't stop. And I finally broke down at like 10 o'clock at night, or 10 or 11, I don't know, like 10 o'clock, I guess. I was just laying in bed, tossing and turning, and my mind was getting flooded with images of like drinks and smoothies and, oh, what could I have? And it was just terrible. My body was just screaming at me to drink something. That's all I can imagine was happening. Whatever little bits of metabolic water I was creating out of my fat consumption, I tore through them. Whatever energy reserves I had, I tore through them. There was nothing left. And my body would not let me sleep. I couldn't. All my body would do, all it would do was just pound my head with thoughts of moisture and drinks and things like that. It wouldn't stop. I couldn't sleep. I felt terrible. And, I already told you, like all those weird back pains I had, that stuff at the top of my spine, all that was gone. So whatever weird thing that was, it wasn't my kidneys. That wasn't the issue. I know a lot of people say, oh, lower back, that's your kidneys. I didn't think it was at the time, to be honest. because it was the same kind of pain I had when I left out of the Keys. And that's how I knew something really weird had happened to my body down there, whatever that was. I don't know. But I'd broken through that part of it in this fast. That pain was totally gone. There was no issue there. My kidneys were fine as far as I could tell. But I was just getting flooded. Like my brain was just getting flooded with ideas like, oh, drink, smoothies, stuff like that. And it wouldn't stop. Ever since I left that park, it's like I was cursed. My body wanted nothing but some kind of moisture, liquid, something. And it wouldn't stop. It just kept attacking my mind the whole night until eventually I broke down. And I think we had like my parents, they don't drink very good stuff, but my brother and my mom, but they had like diet ginger ale and diet 7-Up. So it's what I had. So I drank that, and the bubbles were nice and the carbonation was nice, and it still took me a while for my body to finally come around, And it's 0 calories. I don't think there's any real energy in there as far as I know. But I was on the struggle bus. I mean, it was terrible. It's not just like you're thirsty. I think you'd have to talk to like someone that does like a lot of exercise and they kind of push themselves beyond normal limits to understand what it feels like. This is not like, depletion like you would feel from a common walk around a park or a common bike ride. This is like people that do like really long bike rides or, really long walks or runs. They would probably understand it. I think they call it hitting the wall or something, but you got nothing left in the tank. You're done. You're gassed. It's done. You have nothing. So that's what it was. And then all night I was just getting attacked with thoughts of water, and you could say food, but honestly, I don't have any. I mean, I said I'd finish the fast, so I will. That's fine. But I don't really have any thoughts of food. It's not like that. My body doesn't. Maybe it's because I've already done the 40-day fast once. I've already completed it. But food is not really the issue. I don't really care about food. It doesn't really matter about food. The only type of food I really wanted were smoothies. And I think that's because of the moisture content. Because when you mix them up, they're like completely like broken up. I mean, they're almost like a liquid, like a smoothie type liquid like that. But I just couldn't. I couldn't stop the thoughts. They just kept flying into my mind all night long, tossing and turning. I couldn't sleep. And it never stopped. Ever since I hit the wall at the park and got home, and never stopped. I felt terrible, faint, and like no energy at all. Just, I couldn't do anything. And then the thought of going like 33 more days or whatever it was, just at that point seemed impossible. And I could have pushed through until the morning. I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe I would have felt better. I'm not sure. I think that whole metabolic water process just takes a while. So who knows? All I know is at the end of the day, I was feeling great, perfectly fine. The back pain was gone. That walk destroyed me. So had I not taken that walk, and I'll know next time not to take that walk, but had I not taken that walk, I'd probably still be on the dry fast right now, as best I can tell, because I was cruising. I wasn't having any problems, nothing major. And any pains that I had that would have maybe been like kidney related or anything like that, those were gone. Those had already resolved themselves. My whole body felt fine. I wasn't feeling sore. I was feeling good. So, and why I wasn't able to recuperate after that, I don't know. But, I'm not like a human biologist. So I don't know how that works. But as soon as I did, hit the wall or whatever, and I was just wanted to sit down, I couldn't do anything. I just couldn't recover. I couldn't recover at all. So I had to eventually break down and did the diet ginger ale and diet 7-Up. But I at least wanted to explain it. And, like I said, I didn't know if I was going to make it through entirely because it does seem absolutely impossible. And thankfully, per the scriptures, it really doesn't say that Jesus did a dry fast anyway. It clearly says he just abstained from food. So maybe that's true. Moses is a different story. How that guy did it, I have no idea. He's up on the mountain. He fasts 40 days, right? He gets the 10 commandments. He goes back down. Gets like super upset. They're down there worshiping a calf, doing all kinds of crazy stuff. He gets upset, goes back up the mountain, Now, I don't know if that's after they killed all the people. I know they killed a bunch of people because they disobeyed God. So I don't know if that was after they killed all those people, or if he went up and got the Ten Commandments and came back down and then killed them all. I'm not sure. Probably killed them before they went back up. But either way, the guy goes up there 40 days, comes down, gets upset. They're worshiping idols, which obviously they can't do, is paganism. They go back up. He does another 40 days and comes down. So the guy basically did an 80-day dry fast. Insane. I have no idea how he did it. We'll never know how this will play out or how it could have played out because I made the mistake of taking a leisurely walk where I enjoyed myself. I guess that's the worst thing I did. I tried to enjoy a walk in the park, and I absolutely paid for it. So, went from this beautiful, gorgeous, majestic day, and then as I'm feeling like absolute trash, the weather turns, the clouds roll in, looking like it's going to rain. I feel terrible. I'm on a scooter. I don't want to get rained on. So I have to hobble it back to the house. Oh, it's horrible. And then the pain didn't stop all night. I just kept getting flooded with thoughts of drinking and stuff like that. And that's, it wasn't good. So eventually, broke down there and had to do some liquids. So that's fine. I'll finish the fast. I've done one before, and right now my stomach is completely turned off. Like for food. For food, if there was food there, like my favorite foods, could I eat it? Yeah, I'm sure. Of course, I could. But I'm not in a normal eat, poop, eat, poop cycle. I'm not in that. I don't get hungry like that. I really have no interest in food right now. The only thing my body craves, from time to time is moisture, right? So liquids. So, as long as I have liquids, I don't care about the food aspect of it. Will that change? I don't know. My stomach's just completely turned off, to be quite honest. I don't crave food. I don't even think about it. And I tell you what, and I know you don't want to know this because it's gross and you don't like hearing about my bodily movements, but going to the bathroom, number 2, it's a real pain. No one likes doing it. It's a disgusting process. It's much better if you don't have to. So if you don't eat, you don't have to go do that, which is great because it's annoying and no one likes it. It doesn't smell good. So I actually like fasting like this because I don't have to deal with it. And it's great. It just frees up a lot more time. And I feel good. My energy levels are fine. Now that I got some hydration in me, my energy levels are good. So that's nice. So my energy's good. I have zero interest in food. Not having to go to the bathroom in that regard, which is amazing. But that's where I am right now. So I'll just keep on the fast, keep going. I'll finish it out. Thankfully for my sake, Jesus, per the scriptures, only did the food fast. It wasn't a dry fast per the scriptures. So that kind of saves my my butt there. But yeah, I'll keep it going. I was going to let you know either way because I said I would, how I was going. And I don't think it's fair if y'all sit back and think that I'm dry fasting when I'm not. So I definitely wanted to explain myself. And this is not something I can do in a text. I can't go on Blue Sky and put out like a quick text and explain everything that happened and how it happened. And it was almost like a story or something. Like, I'm walking, I start feeling horrible. The clouds roll in, and a beautiful day. This was a beautiful day. There's no clouds in the sky. The whole reason I went to walk is because it looked amazing. And I was feeling good. My back pain was gone. I was feeling good. I felt like it was the natural thing to do is to go for a walk. I wanted to enjoy it. And then it was just like a movie. I start feeling terrible. Clouds roll in. It's like it's going to rain. There's people on the bench, so I can't sit down, and I get a little frustrated. Not mad. Way better with that. But eventually found a place to sit down and even though it's like one of my favorite places, because the birds are flying around, and they got all these turtles in the lake, and the squirrels are running around. There's just all this wildlife there. It's so cool. But even that could make me feel better. I just felt terrible. Then eventually got on the bike and hobbled home, and then all I was tortured all night long with just thoughts of drinking. That's all I could think about. My body was 100% consumed with getting hydration, and it wouldn't stop, and I couldn't sleep, and I tossed and turned as long as I could, and eventually broke down. I had the diet soda because that's what they had. It was cold. No, that's not the best, but that's what happened, and I at least wanted to explain myself. Um, we'll keep this one short. I don't have much else to add to that. Not feeling too good, mentally, but I did look at the weather app today. I know that doesn't make sense to you, but oddly enough, like if I make mistakes in my life, if I screw up, I know that doesn't make sense, but I can usually look at like the weather and, you know, I don't know. It's just weird the way my mistakes, little mistakes, big mistakes, whatever they are, like my little failings, they sometimes they'll like coincide with like what the weather looks like around me. Um, so I checked the weather and it looks good actually right now. So I don't think I screwed up too badly in what I did. If I did, I would expect it to look terrible today, but it doesn't. So I take that for what it is. Who knows? It doesn't make any sense. I know that, but that's okay. So, but yeah. So I don't know if I screwed up or not. Thankfully, the scripture backs me up on this one because Jesus didn't do a dry fast per the scriptures. Um, I will try it again at some point in time, and I definitely will not go for a walk in the park. But I couldn't stop myself. I like to walk out in nature. I love nature. I love to be out in nature. And the day was just so pretty, and my back pain was gone. I was like on cloud nine. I was feeling good, and I just wanted to enjoy it. And I did. For the first mile of that walk, I did enjoy it. It was great. I was out there walking around. Like I said, the clouds were beautiful. The sky was nice. And, a little light breeze probably. It was good to see people. Really enjoyed myself. And then I just got slapped right in the face. And I just felt like somebody just kicked me on the ground, just kept kicking me. No energy, and felt sickly and faint and horrible. My day went from great to horrible real quickly. And then the weather wanted to kick me too, just to make me feel even worse. Right? The reason I went out there is because the weather was beautiful, and then all it starts looking terrible, like it's going to rain, and I don't know. Maybe that was a sign that I screwed up, or that I needed to evacuate the park immediately. I don't know, but either way, I'm still technically fasting. It's still, it's still a food fast, and I told you before, I don't have any interest in food at this point. I love not going to the bathroom. That's great, and I feel good. I feel fine now that I've got some hydration in me. I feel good. I have zero like food cravings. When you're on that cycle of eat, excrete, or sorry, better to say like eat, eat, get hungry, eat, get hungry, eat, get hungry. That little wheel that everyone gets on, you just keep going around, eat, get hungry, eat, get hungry, it packs the pounds on. I'm off of that little mouse wheel. You're sitting there just, oh, I want to eat. Oh, now I'm hungry. I want to eat. Oh, no, oh, now I get hungry and I want to eat again. And you just get stuck on that little wheel. And you're constantly just running around eating, getting hungry, eating, pooping, and then eating, getting hungry, pooping. So you get stuck on that wheel. And I'm off that wheel right now. I don't care about food. I have zero interest in food. It doesn't bother me. I don't, which is weird. It's going better, I think, than it did the first time, because I don't care about food. My body clearly, if I happen to go for a walk when I haven't drank anything for 7 days, then yeah, it gets really upset with me and it beats me up. But now that I've resolved the liquids issue, hydration issue, now I'm good. No back pain, no upper spine pain, feeling good. So I don't have any concerns at this point. So I'll keep rolling. But that's it. I wanted to explain myself. I couldn't get it out, on Blue Sky. I couldn't just throw it, a little text out and explain what happened. Like I couldn't do that accurately. And I wanted to be fair and at least explain to you what happened. And I don't want you sitting back thinking I'm doing a dry fast when I'm not. So I owe you that honesty. So that's it. I'll keep this one short. I don't want to tie up a lot of your time, especially on a fasting video. But that's where I am. So I'll keep fasting. Even though I've already done it, that's fine. I'll keep doing it. And that's it. So just remember that, God loves us, even though He kicks us sometimes, and wants to provide guidance, wants to help us on our spiritual journey to perfection, or as close as we can get to it, to sanctification. And that's a process we're all going through currently, myself included. So that's it. Have a great day.